through the injured garden road and then turned right towards Malla Road. After paying homage to this Saturn Temple, I am sitting on the cliff. Earlier I visited here when I recorded drone reviews on my YouTube channel. In past 10 days I am not able to post more YouTube videos because of several reasons. Earlier during 15th and 16th of this month I was trying to get myself interviewed in various companies. Then I had to apply in more and more companies so that at least I can get some opportunity and start earning and compensate the losses which I had to bear during the past, just because of the fact that various web designing clients are not ready to cooperate with me because they think that I don't work with full potential. And most importantly, when they can earn livelihood through footfall and Google Maps only, they claim that the reviews are their own achievements, and if they will get likes and shares, it is their personal efforts. But that is normal and tolerable because in today's lifestyle people are relying on various social networking sites, and that thinking is very prominent among arrogant Indians, and we can't claim anything from them till we have proven any records or audio recordings, as in Google United States and Facebook United States. People are very transparent in nature and used to inform the vendors or sellers about the process which they utilize in reaching them. But I am still trying to survive as usual. I am a very courageous and brave person. I don't depend on others' decisions because I have lost abundant amount of revenue, which was earlier explained in various YouTube videos, and I have proven my self-respect by walking 12 to 15 kilometers towards this place, not just because I want to show you these kind of terrains and prove that because of ecological devastation and degradation of environment through crushers and various concrete jungles which are being evolved around Panchkula and Chandigarh. Various migrant laborers are also living across these places, due to which it has become difficult. You can see that stray dogs is still looking into my eyes with anger, and I could have shown these places if I want to do the same by traveling on my bike. I have to travel. I have to reach any space so that I can be safer, because that is the clue. If stray dog attack, then I don't have any option but to jump around that place. So I don't have any intention to show my face all throughout the day. I could have broadcasted inside my home also, and the same content would have been there. But I am traveling all through these places to ease my senses, which are very anxious because from past 10 days I am being discouraged by various HR team members who used to ask nonsense questions about my family members, about your status of marriage, about my loved ones who are either dead or surviving, from where you evolved, from where you migrated, what is your gotra and your surname, and you have resigned from a lot of companies. What was the reason behind that? How can you prove that you were working in those companies? And even my transportation means were attacked, like you don't have potential to reach our premises. That is the only trouble. Otherwise you are much educated and skilled enough. At least you should have said that you will not be able to manage our employees as a supervisor. That would have been a better denial method for these kind of HR. But I don't want to name them specifically, because if I had not annoyed any potential recruiters or potential employees, it doesn't mean that everyone will behave similarly with me. So you can understand what kind of feelings and trauma I am being faced during past 10 days. That video was broadcasted and posted on YouTube during Lodi's celebrations. An additional girl was included, that too, who was suffering because of violent husband. So all the girls and women who are arriving in my life and my family, whether due to their own intent or coincidentally or as a cause of probability, are being suffered immensely. And her violent Haryana police husband had tortured her a lot from past 10 or 12 or 14 years. I'm not sure of that also. But the day when I joined her for visiting Sardar Motors, on the way towards that place, she insisted me to meet anonymous girl for the first time outside the police station, where that demon or bull attacked us. And then I suggested her, along with that Panchkarma therapist, that you should visit house again and record your mother-in-law's voice that she is not allowing you to enter. That was the only day when I met her. Then she returned back towards her hometown in Muzaffarnagar, and after a latency period of 2.5 months, she came here and they started own Panchkarma clinic along with the same person who was introduced to her as a neighbor in Dwarka after the death of her husband, before meeting another anonymous husband who tortured her a lot after the child marriage. So these kind of problems which people face are being transferred to our family lives without any reason or so, and they don't even pay regard that we are helping them at any cost. But I didn't intervene any of my family member, even a distant family member. Whenever we used to meet them, we are very harmonious in nature, even when we are suffering a lot. But that can't be compared with those widows or suppressed women. I am not into that discussions, but I was trying to say that all the consequences of these kind of troubles are being manipulated, or when you start discouraging yourself, you get into a trap. But on the other hand, I am that much courageous enough to come out of every trouble. Even now I am satisfied with my life, and I will try to get some revenue from my web designing clients also, and few videos will also fetch some revenue from some priests who are still anonymous because they don't want me to follow them. I should point towards these places again. Earlier I tried to get some food from a place opposite that Shani temple, but I failed to convince that I don't require much quantity because they assume tourists to visit these places. They are unaware that we should be treated as local citizens. I am living in Panchkula from 2007 February 2nd when we arrived here on my Fiat Siena car, which was loaded with many expensive items like computers, but people are still not familiar and harmonious with us, whether due to jealousy or greed, and whether they are overly expecting our potential or whether they are still trying to discourage us and treating us as migrants. I'm not still figure about these kind of troubles because there are immense cases where families migrate to different cities and towns. At least they are able to get some support of local citizens within a stipulated time frame of 10 or 12 years. That is enough, but we have spent about 15 years and all of these people are still feeling hatred towards me. I have not performed any blunder against them. I have not performed any criminal instinct or any kind of behavior was not ever sensed by anyone. If I would have performed any blunder, I would have been trapped by now. When I don't call any person who was proven criminal by me from past 7 or 8 years, I used to discard everyone who is sensed in falling a trap of gangsters. And there are several examples in Panchkula also, when a person was working in Salim hair salon, he informed that he used to keep knife with him because of own security. I had to believe in his stories, but he hadn't informed any kind of direct criminal intervention. He told me a lot of about people who are utilizing girls at the stake of knife and sharp objects, but I don't have any proof against those people. I don't have any links with those people, but even then these people are still very cautious and a sense of hatred is always seen. I slept just because of those stray dogs. I had to move towards this temple. So I am returning back towards my house. I have to complete some tasks like update photos in my existing websites by writing some content. So one of the interviewer's colleague started abusing me that you are not familiar with search engine optimization also. You are not using proper keywords for your clients. Then I had to reply, dear friend, people don't provide enough money, and search engine optimization is not a simple task. You have to spend a lot of time, and how can I compensate my own revenue? Keep on promoting them from past 16 years. Some of the clients don't pay me enough money there, but they are satisfied with the content, they are satisfied with the format of website, they are satisfied with the responsive. And the owner was claiming on behalf of that employee, but some of your websites are not mobile friendly also. So without any knowledge, without any information. They were trying to interview me and they spoiled my day and time. But I am back into my track and I am not looking for more jobs because they will try to destroy my inner confidence and the education which I have got from Delhi University. I am a BSc graduate from Shri Aurobindo College and I have proven you by providing all the certificates also. But still you were trying to say that you will not able to reach our premises in time. How can I expect these kind of responses from uneducated people like you? Sometimes I replied that in Delhi I was able to ride bicycle for 25 to 35 kilometers on one side and I had to return back. पेटीएम से ले लोगे हैं? पेटीएम से ले लोगे? पेटीएम से चाउमीन और क्या? So I have ordered half plate chow-mein and spreads like that and sitting inside this cottage. As I was talking about various interviewers who are not skilled enough to perform these editings. Don't take much anxiety and I start continuing on my daily routine. At the most I used to visit any nearby park and relax for few minutes only. But this place was exceptionally far away from my house, so I decided that I should consume some nutritional and healthy food so that I can walk another 18 kilometers through National Highway or enjoy the solar. I will wait for another 10 days till I will revive myself from all the trauma and rejection experiences in past 10 days. Then I will start posting more videos again. In the meantime, I will try to post 1 or 2 videos from my home also. But I will not able to post any bicycling videos for another 1 month because that need normal servicing and replacement of the car. So I am pointing towards a Muslim funeral ground and that is the Saturn Temple. This place is now in Gandhara. I am returning back. So I have started walking. It's the time of sunset. As I was talking about few months which elapsed when many people were introduced to me. Some of them claimed that they had worked in investigation agencies or any kind of corruption bureaus, but I am still suspicious about their character and motives or the past lives were spent through honesty or a lot of bribe was also collected by them. One of Haryana's State Corruption Bureau's retired person visited the crossing without any prior information or intimation to me at 5:30 a.m. in the morning with that Panchkula therapist who visited along with me to Dharamshala and Zirakpur, where two of my past web designing clients and one is an existing also, that is known as Sardar Motors, and that person was introduced suddenly to me and I didn't find that person's behavior any kind of cooperative or any kind of kindness towards that woman was not also sensed, because he was not ready to give or donate chairs to her even when she had helped him to revive a lot of diseases in past 1 year. And when you want to give charity, you should be totally committed and keep yourself anonymous only. Why will you make other person desperate enough? That was the only point which was being noticed by me, so I avoided that person also. And then when I visited her clinic for the first time after inauguration, she asked the reason behind avoiding his photographs to be posted anywhere in my WhatsApp status or anywhere in Instagram. I said, I am not familiar to any person. Why will I post his pictures? When I came to know suddenly about that person's arrival, you are not cooperating me in that manner when I have helped you a lot. But these kind of problems are existing in this country. We can't compare illiteracy with maturity, or even if a person is skilled enough practically, he or she can't be compared with decisions or actions made by any educated person. But if you are one of their team member, or if you are assisting anonymous person or known person, you should behave in a systematic manner. I am not into any kind of personal attacks, but when you are migrated 15 years ago, that is not treated sufficiently large amount of time by these Indians. We can't treat them as normal human beings. That's why I used to name them in several other organisms. They are not part of human culture. Even our superior elders and ancestors were part of many teams which were directly connected with investigation agencies. Or so why will we visit any person's house without any prior intimation? Or at least we should try to contact them afterwards, or call them to their venues or their existing houses, offices, as part of humble gestures or reciprocating within 1 week or 2 weeks only. After that it becomes a monotonous and revengeful part. That's what these kind of people are doing with me from several years. But I have kept or imparted every circumstances on godly conduct only. they will definitely get punishments for whatever actions they perform with me. Most importantly, that person bought 100 rupees VIP ticket in front of the Mansa Devi temple, and all of us were stranded outside the main gate waiting for them to appear after a gap of 1.5 or 2 hours. So these kind of people are existing in this country. After all, it is a flex country belonging to Moscow demolition group only. We can't compare it with Geneva, we can't compare it with Switzerland. Or any American city, we can't compare it with European towns also, we can't compare it with New Zealand, Australia or other countries where lifestyle is totally different and people follow all sympathetic and harmonious conducts with each other. 140 cases of coronavirus were experienced yesterday, and that will definitely grow to magnitudely large number till the end of this lunar year 2079 Vikram Samvat. I hope so, but I am not claiming that to happen immediately, because various flights are already restricted by China, and people are noticing movements of international travelers. But even then, by the end of 2023, more and more log. But sometimes any kind of mockery, jokes can't be regarded as curses or imparted on others. The day when I was visiting Sardar Motors with that girl for the first time on the way towards Zirakpur, that anonymous culprit, which is right now an employee of that therapist, called her about the sufferings which I have explained to you from that cliff. And then after those incidences or suggestions given by both of us, she mocked that why not you should marry that anonymous girl. Then I replied, I am not able to get divorce from my existing wife because of various complications, and otherwise also why will I accept anonymous introduction by you? Don't I possess any kind of self-respect? If I want any kind of extramarital affairs, I will look by myself. Similarly, during Dharamshala tour, when I communicated with that manager, Miss Selja, who is a widow, due to which she invited us to Radisson Blue, she was also mocking, why not I will introduce you to her in that manner and you should marry, and I will search you any bride for you. I said I agree that I am not happily married, but I am not willing to devote any kind of time and energy, especially through any other person, because of self-respect. Moreover, if in future I am able to gain extramarital opportunities, I will directly expose that beautiful girl or any kind of assumption which you are trying to provide me directly in social networking sites. I will post pictures of that girl. I am not that kind of person who will hide anyone in my life, because that is not any evil or that is not any kind of illegal activity in today's world. She called me that the Google ads which you had developed 5 days ago, and that too because of her own request when she visited my house to provide 500 rupees is not providing her good results, and just because of your way of advertising, I am receiving absurd nonsense calls from various parts of the country. And when I replied very humbly that, dear therapist, it is because of the nature of thinking and not because of any business type that you are receiving such calls from people. And when I had stretched audiences to 20 kilometers around Pir Mashalla Panchkula, then you requested me to target the whole country, and people are not even aware of Panchkarma, acupressure, and we are bound to receive these kind of negligible calls. And if any person has mistakenly repeated that outgoing call, you should disconnect those calls and ignore. You should not pay much attention to these kind of people. After all, every business needs promotion. And then she replied, during past clinic activities I was failing to succeed and receiving calls from Just Dial. I said, don't compare Just Dial with Google. There is no sense in comparing both. Then she became very abusive and angry upon my reply. And all kind of harassment faced by her because of anonymous live-in relationship who is rightly living in Hisar just because of the calls only. That is never acceptable. I had earlier also tried to explain several times that a person's character is not dependent on any kind of technology. If he is suspicious enough, he will keep that behavior forever.